Hi guys, it's Mark from minipond.com, your trusted resource in the UK for ponds and water features. And today we're looking at this formal edged pond. It's got lovely water plants in there, there's a real nice balance. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to actually reconstruct this poorly built pond. The owners spent a lot of money last year on hiring a pond contractor to come out and build them a pond in their garden. They spent £4,000 and they weren't happy with the results. The reason why they weren't happy with the results mainly was because the water level wasn't right up to close to the grass level, and they could see plastic liner or rubber liner in a lot of places, and they just didn't like the look of it. They didn't like the look of the aquatic baskets either. So the main reason why they called us out is basically the look of the pond. It didn't fit in with the rest of the garden. So what we actually did is we came out and did a design consultation, and I actually like the formal brick edge. It gives a boundary between the grass and the pond. If you didn't have that formal edge as a mowing strip, it would be a lot harder to look after this pond because you'd have to strim around the pond, and that becomes a nightmare. What you can actually do is you can actually run the mower over the brick edge. So we've kept that. That's the only thing that we've kept out of the original pond. The reason why it's poorly built is because all the levels are completely wrong. It's not actually obvious on the video, but the water level should have been right up to the edge of the brick. This is what the client asked for. And down the other end, it's actually, the levels are all wrong. So there's lots of exposed liner down that end. When you've got exposed liner, the UV in the sun can actually deteriorate it. If you have any patio furniture, the sun will discolour, and that's basically what it does. Is if it's unprotected. So what you need to do is you need to protect the liner. So putting in rocks and gravel, which is what we're going to do in this particular pond, is one, going to hide the liner so you don't actually see the liner. Also, two, it's going to protect the liner. And also it's going to make it a lot more interesting. So what we're going to actually do is reconstruct this pond, raising the water level, and we're actually going to make it into a freshwater rock pool. We're going to actually put in a freshwater stream out of the pond, running down, and we're going to have some waterfall filtration going on here. So the water quality is going to be absolutely fantastic. So when the client's cutting the grass, clippings do go in. There's no way of stopping that, but because you've got filtration, you're going to actually remove that nutrients as it builds up. At the moment, there's no form of filtration on this pond at all. We've had the electrics put in. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some circulation, and it's going to improve the pond tenfold. It's only a wildlife water garden for plants and the wildlife, but don't you agree? This fantastic brick edge is great. So we're going to keep that, and we're going to keep the plants, but we're going to remove everything. And then what we're going to do is disguise it all with rocks and gravel. So you're going to have clear water, rocks, gravel, for beneficial bacteria to keep the water quality fantastic. And you're going to have the sound of moving water with the benefit of waterfall filtration. Stay tuned and I'll keep you updated. Just following on from the last video, what we're doing is we're reconstructing this pool. Come over here now and I'll show you what's going on. That's better. Now you can see what's going on. What we've done is we've actually removed a lot of the water out of the pond. There's a little bit left in there. We've removed all the plants into a holding system. There was lots of dragonflies, a few newts, there was even a toad in there. But what we're going to do today is we're basically going to cut out the liner and do some ground preparation work before we put in the underlay and the new liner. So as you can see, we've done the groundwork, and basically we've dug out a lot. There was a lot of concrete underneath here, believe it or not, and that's what was basically giving pockets of air. And also there was old carpet underneath, which is old practice. What you should be using is an actual proper pond liner underlay, which is basically, it's a fleece material and it's very, very thick. It's actually 260 grams per square metre, and it takes a lot of Stanley blades to actually cut through it. It's that tough, and you know, nothing can get through. You know, certainly if a Stanley knife has a job to get through, then roots and stuff aren't going to get through at all. we've actually cut the liner and we've left the liner in place on top. We've actually dug back so you know the liner sits nice and flush against the ground, and now we've put in the proper pond underlay, and now we're going to actually unroll the liner. So let's get on and let's get the liner into the hole. We've disguised the aquatic baskets. We've actually taken the aquatic baskets out so the pond plants have a lot more room to thrive and to benefit from using the nutrients out of the water. These ornamental pond plants actually do turn into wetland filtration of some type. There's no water flowing in and around them, so they can't actually extract nutrients from other areas of the pond, but what they can do is they can extract nutrients from a localized area. A couple of the plants will run, but they will find within time that they will find the spaces and they will go all over, but it's just a case of it's just a management. It's very much easier to take out these types of plants than it is to take out single cell algae or green water or blanket weed, filamentous algae that basically covers all over the rocks, and it just basically makes the pond look like a slimy sea. So what we've got here is we've got pond plants that have been located in a couple of areas to create and disguise the way that they're formed. And it's not basically they're put in pots like they were originally in a line like a regiment, keeping with that formal traditional edge. So what we've actually done is we've created two pockets. What we've also created is my favourite part of this particular pond, and that's created a waterfall-stream. And what we've done is we've spent quite a lot of time on the placement of the rocks to get them in the right place, so we've got a magical sound of that. It's really strange on how different water can sound when it's falling. This is more like a babbling brook. It's actually my favourite part, is the sound of this waterfall coming into this pond. As you can see, we've got two falls and then a sort of like a rolling cascade. And at the top there we've got a curtain of water that's broken up by a stone that just basically breaks up that clean glass finish that the client didn't really want. So we put in that stone just to break that clean glass. He wanted the fall, and I think that it looks very, very good, just breaking it up and giving it a bit more interest. Then it rolls into a top pool, and then it rolls over the next spill stone down the cascade and into the pond. My name's Mark from anypond.com, your trusted resource in the UK for ponds and water features. Speak to you soon.